Welcome back. You're listening to the Keeping Your Money Show with Jaime Westenbarger. Remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/keepingyourmoney. Or for informative articles and market updates every week, just click like at facebook.com/keepingyourmoney or go to keepingyourmoney.com and click on the Facebook symbol. And now, here are your hosts, Jaime Westenbarger and Bart Steindler.
All right, welcome back to the Keeping Your Money Show. I'm Jaime Westenbarger, joined, as always, by Bart Steindler. If you're just tuning in or you've been listening the whole time, we've been talking about benchmarking, where you're at in your retirement savings process, why Congress is screwing with your Social Security, and what you need to know about it. If you missed any part of our show, you can go to our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. Click on the previous shows tab. You'll see them listed there. You can also find us on iTunes. Just go to iTunes and search for the Keeping Your Money Show. And you can sign up for our podcast, download it, and listen to it as you're jogging in the morning or something like that. Just be careful, because, if we say something like, you're never going to retire, I don't want that to cause you to, jump out into traffic or something, So we try to keep things positive, but...
Right. And if you're jogging with headphones on, that doesn't mean you can go across the street without stopping and looking both ways.
Right.
Okay.
So...
As the lady who walked out in front of my car last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Fortunately... we missed her.
Pedestrians have the right of way, Bart.
Yeah.
So if you have not heard, or if you have not been paying attention to this particular thing, which, just like the Social Security thing, I don't think this item was really talked a whole lot about, but the Department of Labor has stepped in and decided to regulate advisors in the future, because we need another department to regulate us.
What happened? Did the SEC take a nap or something?
No, they just figured why not add another layer of compliance. And I jest. Some of the things they came up with are actually not bad. We just aren't really sure why the Department of Labor is involved in it. But anyway, they have passed some rules that'll take effect potentially next April. But of course, that's still open for interpretation. They've been discussing this for 10 years. But the idea behind it was to give investors a little bit clearer picture of what exactly they're being recommended and why, because of the complexities in how your broker / advisor / planner / life insurance agent is compensated, and how you may not be aware of how they're compensated. And we see this all the time, Bart. I mean, people come in with products and you're like, why do you own this? And that's what, the guy I used to work with, that's what he recommended, well, just so happens it's a high commission, high fee product that underperforms everything else in the market, but and
you can't surrender it for 19 years.
Right, but the client didn't realize that. They don't understand it. So we thought it would be a good idea ahead of time, even before this rule rolls out, because this rule will give some guidelines on what needs to be disclosed to you as a client, and what you're supposed to be told about. But we thought it was a good idea to sit down and actually look at some questions you can ask today of your advisor, broker, planner, whatever they call themselves, to kind of prepare for what things will look like in the future, but also today to find out if you're really getting the best advice. And I love the first one, because the first one really, to me, just kind of epitomizes what is wrong a lot of times with things that we see people walk through the door with, and that is, you should ask, how do you decide on the investments you recommend for my portfolio? Whether it's qualified like IRAs, or whether it's non-qualified being taxable accounts. Are you just looking for suitable investments, or are you looking for what you believe are in my best interest? So to explain the difference of that, let's say you come through the door and it is determined that you should be 60% in equities, 40% in, fixed income, other types of alternatives, whatever. So as long as the product that is recommended to you fits into that category, that would be considered quote unquote suitable. Okay. Under the very loosely, labeled law, that means even if it is a dog that pays really high commissions, it technically is suitable, therefore the broker didn't technically do anything wrong. Okay? Well, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I think we all can agree with that. So the new law will make it so that they have to compare that product to other similar products and show you, the consumer, that this product actually is better. It has better return, lower expenses, better management, whatever the case may be. But there's really no reason for you not to be getting this information right now. So, is this suitable, or do you feel this is in my best interest to purchase this? And if it's in my best interest, why? What makes it so great? And in a taxable account, you want to be looking at that from a taxable standpoint too. Have you taken into account what this is going to cost me in taxes to own, not just what it costs or what its return is?
And one thing we see a lot is people are bringing us their portfolios from a company, and you see that a certain company will have a lot of the same investments that they offer. And what's happening with some of these, I'll just call them national companies, is that the people who are affiliated as advisors with these companies are given a very small list to select from for providing those investments, because that company may have a relationship with a certain mutual fund company, or that company may have their own investment products, and that you'll see those products coming up with every portfolio you see that comes from an advisor of a specific company. So they're not necessarily giving them what's in their best interest. It may be what's in their best interest that company offers, but it's excluding an ocean full of other products that you just can't have access through that particular company.
Yep, absolutely. You also want to ask your advisor how they plan to implement the rule change. What are you going to be seeing over the next year as this comes down the line? So there is something that's going to be called a best interest contract exemption. And what this simply is if you have a product that maybe you've purchased that had a commission on it, your advisor will have to provide this form to you so that you can understand that was the way this was handled. And then you will have to sign that saying you want to still receive advice on that. In most instances, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of you understanding that that's what's going on. And then from now on, there will be any conflicts of interest and things like that should be detailed to you. They should have been detailed to you before, quite honestly. But if they weren't, they're going to be now, so that you'll start seeing these contracts come along. Another thing that I really think you should be asking that enough people don't is, what education, what training, what have you been involved in your years in the business, and how many years is that? You've got all these little fancy initials at the end of your name, but what do they really mean? Interestingly, there are 160 professional designations listed on FINRA's website. A number of them require only a few courses or simply to pay a fee. It is absolutely something that should be cracked down on a lot more, but isn't. And you really should know. Okay, you've got these four initials at the end of your name, but what do they mean? What does that mean to me? Other than you have them there. What did you do to get them, and how does that help me?
Mm-hmm. And who do you talk to? What do you read? Can you show me some, reports that you've read that kind of document the positions that you're coming to? Yeah. And there's certain people that we follow in this industry, and certain people follow more, certain people read more. Others kind of sit at a desk and whatever the company tells them they have, then that's what they recommend.
Or even more scary, there are 20, 30 probably research subscription programs you can sign up for as an advisor. Some of them cost thousands of dollars a year. Some of them cost a lot less. Last year, I think it was Financial Planning Magazine, which is a trade magazine for our industry, it went around and surveyed advisors and found 55% of them or more, maybe even more, listed Google as their number one research tool. Well, that's not really a research tool. That's a search engine. That's kind of a different thing. So, know what your advisor is is doing and how they're getting their information. And then the 4 questions you should know right from the get-go, no matter what. And you should be asking them, whether it's a new advisor or the one you already are working with, is how much do you charge and what is it based on? Are you based on a fee? Is it based on a commission? Is it a combination of the two? How does that work for me? What, do I pay you directly? Does it come out of my account? And in tune with that, the second question would be, can you give me some idea of what that actually means? So you might have a multitude of products that you are invested in, or you may have some advisory accounts with an annual fee, and you may have some accounts where you're paying an upfront, or some, give me an idea what that really looks like. What are we talking about in dollars and cents? So I really can understand and wrap my mind around that. What, if any, products do you sell besides investment advice? Are you doing mortgages on the side? Are you doing life insurance? Are you doing home and auto? It's not bad if you are, per se, but if you are, how do you make decisions on whether you're going to make those recommendations to me too, and how do you get compensated for them? This is all about knowledge, And then the last one we talked about a little bit, but when you make a recommendation, are you making it based on what my absolute best interest is, or are you telling me something that's simply suitable that your company happens to sell? And I think if you do that, you're going to have a level of protection that honestly, even this new law probably isn't going to give you on its own. You've got to be your best advocate. You've got to understand what you're actually doing out there, because there isn't going to be anybody else holding your hand and doing it for you. So if you want any more information on that, or you'd like more ideas on what you should be asking, we'd be happy to help. Or if you'd like second opinion, we, of course, can always provide that as well. Give us a call anytime. 888-98-MONEY is the number. All right, coming up, some documents you should have at home or in your safe that you may not have, but that you should get right away, right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.